says DS and fade out, so that means you repeat it forever and fade out, but obviously if you play an acoustic piano, fading out is virtually impossible, so you just get quieter and hope that no one notices. But anyway, I thought I'd play it twice because it was a bit short for once, but I'd forgotten about Gerudo Valley. So Gerudo Valley is from Ocarina of Time Zelda, which was my first experience of well, I had a Zelda game on Watch when I was 7, but my first console game was the N64 and Ocarina of Time. And I remember playing it when I was about 12 or 13, and I think I did Gerudo Valley, but Shadow Temple gave me nightmares, so that's the point at which I stopped playing it, and I never completed it. But it did get remade for 3DS a bit later, 2015-16, so I completed it that time with the remake on the portable console, and the graphics were much improved then as well. Ocarina of Time, I absolutely love the music for it. But Gerudo Valley is slightly unique as in its style, because it's a particular style of people as well, so that's quite interesting. But yes, of course you can request anything at any time of year. If I can't fit it in this year, I will put it on my programme for next year, because I'll be doing something similar next year. The second piece was requested by Evie, so this is from Inuyasha. I kept pronouncing it wrong before. Tokiwa Koita Kagome. I'm not very good at Japanese, so correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a tune. I love this one because it's got a folksy feel to it. I hope I'm playing at the right speed, but I really enjoyed learning this one, so enjoy. So that was a piece from Inuyasha from Evie. Third up, we've got Tifa's theme. So this was in a generic sort of anthology of different ultimate piano solos. So I've played a couple from here already. Like 1,000 Years was one. So that's just before the one I'm looking for, which I didn't bookmark. But it's got a sort of, you know when you folded it back enough and it automatically bookmarks, it's that kind of idea. And then of course there's the hoping it doesn't fall off the music stand as I'm playing it, which it did this morning. It's always part of the experience though, isn't it? So this one's a fiddly one, but I've enjoyed learning it. I was trying to learn it last year, but I didn't manage to do it in time for September. So this is an adventure. Tifa's theme from Final Fantasy. safest theme from Final Fantasy. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a very tricky one because in the middle bit you can hear it goes very quite rich in the harmony and it's got notes all over the place. When you half sight reading it, it's where are the sharps and where are the chords and which ones aren't sharps and which ones aren't flat. Yeah, black keys, clear. But anyway, I survived. So piece 4 is The Edge of Dawn from Fire Emblem Three Houses, which was requested by Claire Smith. When we went to uni together, she's the one who did the collaboration notebook. So if you remember me showing off this, sales are going well for this. All of my regular students have put in an order for one, which is nice. Very useful back pages mainly. But we went to uni together, and when we reconnected, I didn't realise she was a gamer. And she started talking about Zelda, and I was like, "Oh, you're a gamer?" And she's like, "Yeah, I've got a Nintendo Switch." I was like, "Did you know I run Nintendo Plays UK and Nintendo North Wales?" And she's like, "No, I didn't." Wow. So we've known each other sort of on and off since we were about 18, and we'd only just learned that last year. So it's amazing what you have in common with people when you get talking a bit more. I find that quite fascinating. But anyway, Fire Emblem. I haven't played Fire Emblem properly myself, but I've got a lot of people in my community who enjoy playing it. So, The Edge of Dawn. So what I noticed between piece 2 and piece 4 is they're the same kind of chord sequence, so that's got a folksy vibe to it as well. Right, I was going to do the bonus one next, if I can find it. Can I find it? It's not where I thought it was. Have I put it? I've hidden it somewhere. Ah, there it is. Right, Xenoblade Chronicles next. That's the bonus piece. So this is Happy Birthday to Chris Ellaby, who... Yeah, I think I always forgot to get him a card, and he always got me a card, so I started remembering now. I got him a present for his 30th. I'm rubbish at remembering. I remember people's birthdays, but I'm rubbish at remembering to actually get cards and stuff. So I remembered this year. Last year was quite funny. Well, funny for us, awkward, frustrating for him. He came up for the weekend and was convinced he'd caught COVID off the train, so he locked himself in my study for the weekend, and it turned out he was travel sick and he didn't have COVID, so we were safe, but he'd locked himself away for the weekend. So that weekend last year in my den I was doing a duck race, so he was actually watching the duck race online from my study while I was here in the studio doing the duck race. But anyway, you can laugh about it later, can't you? But at the time it was quite stressful. Anyway, this is Xenoblade Chronicles for Chris. Chronicles 1 theme. I was half sight reading that because I only picked it up a few days ago, so that was interesting. And then the final one today is the one with the story. So, Super Mario Galaxy end credits. 10 years ago, well, just over 10 years ago, as I put my post up for my anniversary, it was my 10th anniversary this year. 10 years ago, we got married in Rithing Castle. Now, I planned most of it myself. We took 2 years to plan it, did all my stationery set, and then I left the music till last because that was the most special bit, because obviously as a musician I wanted it to be perfect. My Al music, I had a live clarinet, flute and harpist playing, and we did the Tico and the Hat from Super Mario Galaxy. It was a really nice piece. I played the Luma theme last year, I think. It was quite similar to that. I'll have to dig it out if I can find it. But anyway, I planned this grand exit music, the Super Mario Galaxy end credits. Now you'll feel how magnificent it is when I play it. Hopefully, my fingers are a bit tangled at the moment. Bit nerves. Last 2 sessions I had a heatwave problem, so I had sweaty hands last time, so I survived that. I can survive this hopefully. But anyway, the end credits was on a CD player because there was no way I could afford to hire a whole orchestra, nor was the space in the ceremony hall. So I put it on a CD player and I asked my brother to test the volume because I ran out of time myself and I was already stressing about everything else, so I left that in charge of my brother. Either my brother didn't do it or he thought it was okay, and it turned out it wasn't, because there was a disaster after the ceremony when we had to sing Calon Lan and no one could hear the backing track. They could only hear me singing and everybody else out of tune. So that was so awkward. I went bright red while singing, but if it wasn't for that I might not have been able to sing solo Fleetwood Mac in the evening for Dylan. That was supposed to be instead of our first wedding dancing song, but we did both. I sang him Fleetwood Mac's Everywhere and then we danced to A Groovy Kind of Love by Phil Collins. But anyway, the end credits music was supposed to be this grand, magnificent piece going, oh, you're married now, celebrate, go out the hall in cheer and stuff. And it came on and I couldn't hear it. I knew it was there, I could hear like the hum in the background, but it wasn't the great statement piece I was hoping for. I was devastated. I thought no one heard it because all I could hear was clapping, but it turned out, as I've talked to a couple of people over the last few weeks, my mum heard it, Chris heard it because Chris was one of the groomsmen on the day, so I'm guessing Anna probably heard it as well because she was the, oh, they weren't married yet, she was the fiancée to one of the best men, because we have 2 best men, so she was in the main party as well. Obviously with reference to the Mario Kart we did in the middle of the day as well, she was in that photo. But anyway, this was the big statement piece. Now, if I was a confident pianist 10 years ago, I would have recorded it and played it at my own wedding, but I was still scared of people back then, and there was no way that I would have recorded any piano. I lie a bit though, because 2010 I recorded a special CD for my grandparents' diamond wedding anniversary. So I recorded a CD, but that was my Casio keyboard. It was a full-size keyboard with headphones plugged in to record it. So it wasn't like recording live what I do now, and it wasn't on a proper piano, so it didn't have the acoustic, it didn't have the sort of the feel to the style and stuff. So yes, this was my major challenge for this month. So if I manage to survive this without giving up, this is my challenge accomplished for the month of September. So I've always wanted to play this live. 10 years later than anticipated. Well, 10 years later than expected. Hopefully I can do it. So wish me luck.